Good morning, my lovely grade 4 students. I hope that you are doing well. In this session, we are going to study lesson 10, which is about classification of animals. In order to recognize animals well and to study them easier, we should classify them. And to classify animals, it's necessary to look for certain characters that they have in common. لنقدر نصنف الانيمالز لجروبس لازم نشوف شو هن الكومون كاركترز يعني الخصائص المشتركة بيناتهم. You should know that animals are mainly classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. These are the two main groups of animals. In this session, we are going to recognize when an animal is classified into a vertebrate and when an animal is classified into a invertebrate. Okay? In activity 1, we are going to observe these two animals well. We have a rabbit and a snail. I want you to look at this rabbit carefully. We can see here the rabbit skeleton. Skeleton means يعني الهيكل العظمي. Okay? يعني all the bones of our body. All of you know that humans have a skeleton. We have a skeletal system. And without our skeleton, we can't move. Our body will collapse, okay? Will look like liquid. We can't move, we can't stand up, we can't make any activity, okay? And you have also known that our skeleton is made up of a vertebral column, okay? الvertebral column هو العمود الفقري يلي هو أهم part of the skeleton. This is the rabbit skeleton and this is the vertebral column of the rabbit skeleton. I'm going to ask you, is the rabbit able to stand up as shown in the above document? Yes, of course, the rabbit can stand up. Okay? And what allows the rabbit to stand upright? شو هو الشيء اللي بيسمح له للرابط إنه يقدر stand up, move, jump? Okay? Of course, it's the skeleton. Okay? Does the rabbit have a vertebral column? Of course, yes, it has a vertebral column. Is the snail able to stand upright? This is the snail. Look at the snail. The snail has no skeleton, so it has no vertebral column. Okay? إذا ما عندها skeleton فأكيد ما عندها vertebral column. Is the snail able to stand upright? Of course, no, it can't stand upright. So we can say that the rabbit has a skeleton that allows it to stand upright, and it also has a vertebral column, while the snail has not, doesn't have a vertebral column. As we said, can't stand upright. Does the snail have a skeleton? No, it doesn't. Does the snail have a vertebral column? As we said, of course, no, it doesn't. So we can conclude that the animal that has a skeleton containing a vertebral column يعني كل animal عنده skeleton بيحتوي على vertebral column is said to be a vertebrate بنقول له vertebrate like the rabbit, while the one that doesn't have a skeleton and consequently a vertebral column is called an invertebrate. And the animals that don't have a skeleton اللي ما عندهم skeleton containing the vertebral column is called an invertebrate. So here we can specify which of these animals is a vertebrate and which is an invertebrate. We can say that the rabbit is a vertebrate because it has a skeleton containing a vertebral column, and the snail is an invertebrate because it doesn't have neither a skeleton nor a vertebral column. السنيل هي invertebrate لأنه ما عندها لا skeleton ولا vertebral column. Okay? Let's complete the sentences here. An animal is said to be a vertebrate if it has a skeleton and a vertebral column. Of course, if it has a skeleton, then it has a vertebral column. لأنه الvertebral column هو part of the skeleton. An animal is said to be an invertebrate if it doesn't have a skeleton or a vertebral column. I want you all to memorize this conclusion. Let's read it. Vertebrates are animals that have a skeleton and a vertebral column. Invertebrates are animals that don't have a skeleton or a vertebral column. Okay? So please memorize this conclusion well and write the answers on your books. I love you all. Stay safe and take care.